Everyone, I have another deck. I just finished drafting at Comic Town tonight. This is the first Journey in the Nyx, Born in the Gods Theros draft I did tonight. I'll just go over the cards with you. I have the cards from Journey in the Nyx towards the front, so you guys can read them. So I have a Hopeful Eidolon. Then for my 2-drops, I have the signaled starfish. When you tap it, it strides one. It's a 0/3 for 1 in the blue. This card is awesome. I love this card so much. Starfish, you're awesome. And then I have the Orcurios Sun Guide and the Crowing Sky Guard. And then I have a Riptide Chimera, which is a 3/4 for 2 in the blue. How it works is that whenever at the beginning of my upkeep, I return an enchantment to my hand. So it's really good because I have quite a few enchantments in this deck. And then I have an Archetype of Courage, an Nyxborn Triton, and a Winged Steed Rider. And then I have for my 4-drops a Corin Massive. It's 2/2, 3 in a white, and then you tap it and pay a white. You tap a target creature, which is pretty good in this type of deck because a lot of people like to bestow and build up a large creature, and then you just tap it, and then you just decommission it for a turn or so. And then I also have a Coastline Chimera, and then I have a Thassa's Devourer, and with Constellation ability, whenever another enchantment or itself enters the battlefield, then target player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into their graveyard. So it's a mill card, and then I also it's a 2/6 for 4 in the blue, and then supply line cranes with the supply line cranes is a 2/4 for 3 in a white, 3 and 2 white, and then you put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature when it enters the battlefield. And then my 6-drop is the Shipwreck Kraken. And you obviously know what this guy does if you played a lot of Theros. When it's monstrous, you tap up to 4 target creatures, and then they don't untap as long as I control the Kraken. Okay, and then for my non-creature spells, I have a Retraction Helix, a Titan Tactics, and a Oppressive Raise. And Oppressive Raise is Chance Creature, none of the glares on here. The enchanted creature can attack or block unless the controller plays 3, and activated abilities of enchanted creature cost 3 more to activate. So it's a really good card for slower decks. If you put it on a large creature, then they have to actually tap the mana and stuff so that they can either attack or activate an ability like Monstrous. So it has Monstrous cost more, which is really effective. And then I have 2 Nullifies. I have a Batterwise Valor and an Ordeal of Thassa. And then I have Pin the Earth, which is an enchantment. You enchant a creature and gets -6, -0 for 1 in the blue. And then I have a Divine Verdict, and then an Eternity Snare, and then a Foil Traveler's Amulet. And then cards I had in the deck that I actually took out. I had a Launch the Fleet, and it has a Strive ability. When you target, you pay 1 more for each target beyond the first, and when that creature attacks, then you get a Soldier token that's tapped and attacking. And then Aerial Formation is another Strive card, and then it's a blue, and then it's 2 in a blue for each target beyond the first, and then each target creature gets +1 in flying until end of turn. The reason why I took these 2 cards out in particular is because this deck is more defensive, so I didn't really see a reason to continue playing with the cards because I wasn't able to actually use them. So I actually put in Triton Tactics and Retraction Helix in place of those cards. And the deck tend to run a little bit better. Right now the rounds are still going on in 6 rounds tonight, but I decided to drop after the 4th round because I'm really tired and I have to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning to go to work tomorrow. So I did go 1 and 3. I did actually give my 4th round opponent the win even though I beat him, mainly because I was just too tired and I actually want to get home and get some sleep. So right now it's probably a little after 12 as I'm recording this video. However, the deck itself ran pretty well. A lot of synergies with Riptide Chimera, and then with a lot of the enchantments I own, I can either like with some of the bestow creatures like Wingsteel Rider or Cohen Skyguard, I can bestow Hopeful Iolon onto one of the creatures, and then at the beginning of my upkeep bounce it back and then bestow again and get another counter. I can also trigger the Thassa's Devourer with any of the enchantments I control. I can just play it and then bounce it back with Riptide Chimera and then replay another enchantment and then mills 2 more. And then like with Eternity Snare, I can bounce back Eternity Snare and then play it against put on another creature. I can actually draw another card and it's tapped so I can swing through. And then pin the earth. I can make another creature weak as far as the attack strength. And then mill 2, and then what else I have? And then Orthael of Thassa, which I think is really cool. If I could bounce it and then just put another counter on it, and then just keep building up counters and I attack until I'm ready to like pop it and draw more cards. And then what else do I have? Archetype of Courage. I can bounce it and then replay it, and then triggers Thassa's Devourer. So you kind of get the idea with the deck. And then I have the Sigil Starfish to scry a lot. So I think this deck worked pretty well. The decks I lost against just had more creatures, and since this is a more defensive deck, I didn't really have a lot of chances to really like stall. I mean, I do have some removals, some counter spells, things like that I was able to get into, but I'm only running 14 creatures. And then most of the other spells are counter spells. And then I also was running, I believe I was running 10 islands and, no, I'm sorry, 9 islands and 7 planes. And then I was putting in the Traverse Limitless as well. Just to make sure I get the lands as a replace of a land. But other than that, the deck is pretty cool. I liked it. It was my first deck with, the whole block draft. And it's pretty solid. I wish I could stay and play more. But I'm really tired. And at this point, hopefully next week I'll do better. So this is the deck. I just wanted to give you guys a short video here. And Riptide Chimera I think is the best card in my deck, only because with the Thassa's Devourer I could just pretty much bounce any enchantment I control and then replay it and then get this to trigger the mill. But on its own is a pretty good blocker because I could just play it and then it just stalls the board if they don't have a lot of attackers, and I'll just put it back in my hand and then replay it to kind of get the lands and stuff. So alright, well, I'm gonna sign off here. You guys have a good night, and I hope you guys do well in your guys' drafts for whoever's watching this. So one more quick glance, lands, and I'm gonna just leave and go home. You guys have a good night. Bye.